be paid off in the next month, and then my husband does have a student loan. So other than our mortgage, that's our only debt right now. So and we're just not sure yet, which way we're going to head then after we get the home equity paid off, if we want to bank some more for our margin or what we want to do. So we're still kind of in the process of making those decisions. But what I do have is I do have a list of, any kind of ongoing debt that I would have. And right now I only have 2 things, but for you, you might have 4 or 5, maybe you have over 10. I don't know. It just depends on how many medical bills. Sometimes they kind of piddle in here and there, which is kind of annoying because you might have 1 or 2 here, maybe you have more like 5 or 6, that were small from different doctors' offices or lab work or a hospital bill, things like that. So, but what I do is I put, every single debt across the top, and then if I paid the amount that I'm either paying now or I'm going to pay, how long will it take me to pay that off? So, for example, if credit card number 1 has $500, credit card number 2 has $100. My auto loan might have $7,000, and my student loan, maybe that's $10,000, easily or more. Obviously, what I might do is I might say, okay, if my minimum payment here is 15, it's going to take me at least probably, and try to figure out, if I keep, or just go by what it says on your credit card bill, because now they have to tell you by law, if I pay the minimum payment, this loan will be paid off in this time. So that's what you can use to figure out, how long it will go. So then maybe the next one, you're paying $50 a month on, and so that would be 10 months. And so by October, you're going to have that paid off. And, that for the entire year, maybe your auto loan is $200 and you're going to be paying on that, for the next several years, And so this is a really good way to see if you're going to, first of all, be okay with the snowball method, or if you're going to want to go totally high interest rate first, like we talked about the other week. And so sometimes it's just, if you have this kind of out here and that you can kill a bill pretty quickly, and you see that it's only going to take you a month or 2 to get that done, then maybe just for your personality's sake and for, peace of mind and, to think clear, maybe you just want to get rid of one of those smaller debts first so that you can keep narrowing down your rows or columns, and you can do this on paper also. This doesn't have to be, you don't exactly have to be, my gosh, I totally lost my train of thought there because I was looking at the chat. But anyways, so point is, you don't necessarily have to have Excel to do that, is what I was saying. So this is a great way to plan out your debt repayment, to look over all your debts and decide how long it's going to take you. And this is kind of fun for me in a sense, because this is one of the main ways I kept myself motivated to pay off our debt, all this debt that we had from our adoption expenses over the last couple years. I really went ahead and said, okay, if I pay this debt off first and then this and then this, and I just kind of plugged away at it, it was so rewarding when I got something paid off to delete that column. And I love the fact that I've gone from, maybe 3 or 4 columns, because originally, before we had the adoption expenses all on the home equity, I did have a few stray credit cards that we put on top of that. So the first month I used my home equity to pay off a couple of these stray credit cards, and so I went from 6 to 4 or 3 all within that first month. So if you have other avenues or maybe you have a credit card that, even though it's not the best method, and something that we didn't talk about in the other classes, since most of you have been here before, I really want to talk also about, not that these are the best options, because obviously the best option is to always make payments, on your debts as best you can, but sometimes it does make sense to consolidate payments. So maybe if you have a bunch of credit cards hanging out there in limbo, maybe a personal loan might be an option for you. Maybe you want to use a lower interest rate credit card with a higher spending limit to pay off, high interest rate credit cards, put those on your low interest card. And so these are some things that, some things that we really didn't talk about last week. So obviously, if you're going to go for a personal loan, our bank right now, it's anywhere from 10 to maybe 15%, but that may be better than what your credit card, interest rate is. And so the other thing that I really noticed about the group that we kind of have going here based on your questions and things like that the last couple weeks is, the first thing I want to encourage you with tonight is, don't be afraid of creditors. Don't be afraid to call them and talk to them. I think that they're sometimes the hindrance, believe it or not, of people getting out of debt because they either lower your self-esteem or they, drag you down by being discouraging or maybe even ignorant to a point at certain times. But, you have a plan now. You're getting this plan worked out. This is how it's going to be. And they're going to have to follow your plan right now because you can only do so much. And if they choose to take, actions into their own hands, then that's on them. But for you right now, you're doing what you can do. And that's something, and something else that, obviously I'm not a financial advisor. So, you have to be, please understand that tonight we're not giving any individual, financial advice. We're just giving generalities. But it never hurts to talk to a bankruptcy lawyer, not because we think it's a good thing to declare bankruptcy because that goes in your credit, but sometimes it's good to go talk with them to see what their options are and to also see what can and can't be done legally. And I know in our local area, there are lawyers that do it for free. It's a free consultation and you only pay if you sign up. Now sometimes they want to pressure you to sign up and pay them and do this. But sometimes, if you go in under the assumption, kind of like you don't know anything and you just want to get some information and then just say, well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate this, but I'm going to have to think about this. I really don't want to sign up right now. That's always an option too, just to get some advice, some, financial advice about creditors and things like that. So going back to our PowerPoint, the other thing that I want to come back here and talk about is tonight we're going to really start focusing on creating margin. And so one of the things of reducing expenses, these are some things I threw in because I really wanted you to know about, were credit card companies to reduce your interest rates and to eliminate late fees and over-limit fees. If you go to www.nfcc.org or www.aiccca.org, I got these out of Kiplinger Personal Finance Magazine, and a lot of the tips that I give for you guys will be probably, from websites and different magazines that I've collected. And so these are two companies that are credit counseling companies that will work with you. And they were, personally, to me, if they were recommended out of Kiplinger's, that they had to be researched because the magazine isn't just going to include some fly-by-night credit counseling agency, or maybe these are just associations to find people who are credit counselors if you're needing to speak with somebody. And just, sometimes going to that initial meeting can just take such a weight off if that's an issue that you're having. The other thing is, if you do have a mortgage right now, I know that this is one of the Kiplinger links I wanted to tell you about. They have a links to this HARP, the Home Affordable Refinance Program, which just came about in late 2011, and it's basically it's a refinance program, and it changes some of the rules of refinancing your mortgage. And I know that it might have something to do with Freddie Mac and all that, but I'm not sure. So that you'd really want to research that more. But I just wanted to give you the link to find out about possibly refinance your mortgage and getting into a better situation with a fixed rate loan or something like that. And the third kind of piece of information I want to give you was for hospital bills. We really hadn't talked about that. Try to set up an interest-free monthly payment with them. I know that they usually try to force you into a certain monthly payment, but usually if you give them your income, our local hospital has a charity program, or they might have financial aid that you can sometimes qualify. Like my dad with his diabetes and his amputation of his leg, he did qualify because he was on disability for 100% charity through the hospital. Now that does not cover his lab work. Or I'm sorry, it does cover some of his lab work. So it covers everything at the hospital, but like a local doctor's office visit, it doesn't cover it, and it doesn't cover his medicines. But another great website is healthcare.gov that I wanted you to check out just for some tips as far as, some different tips there on, repaying hospital bills and things like that. The other thing is you might want to start a flexible spending account or a health savings account so that if you don't have, certain bills that aren't covered in medical expenses, or I'm sorry, under health insurance, or, the money that you get every month, then what you might want to do is start a health savings account or an FSA. And you might want to talk to like your local, maybe you have a local finance company that does that. I know that one of our local banks has some programs like that, so you'd have to ask around your local area. but I know that that they a lot of times are tax sheltered, and so if you're putting money into those things, you can submit receipts for things like contacts and over-the-counter medicines and things like that. Sometimes are able to be included. So in other words, the government doesn't tax your money that goes into those. Like once you spend it, like it goes in pre-tax, and then you spend out of that, and then you don't end up having to pay taxes on that money. So at least you're saving 30%, because usually taxes equate to about 30% of whatever your income is. So these are just some quick tips. If you have questions, please throw them in the chat. So if you, let me see here once. I just want to go back through what you guys. Okay. Coming back through here. Yeah. Okay, how much credit card debt did I have? All right, good question. We had probably between 3,000 and 4,000 in credit card debt, which really wasn't much at the time. But I will share with you, and I'm not gonna, because it's personal family members. We have personal family members that have been, have declared bankruptcy, that we work through things with them. Credit card debt and had his credit score at, in the 500s, and we were able to, over the course of 2 years, help him get out of that. And he bought a house. In fact, it was funny because he told me today that now that he's bought his own house and he's back on track and his credit's great, he's getting himself a Harley. So he just was so excited about that today. But yeah, okay, let me read here real quick. Your son just started with a company that offers health, right? Oh, he should definitely still put money in that. Yeah, because I would think. And okay, it depends on his. Okay, that's a good question about, do you lose it in a year? It depends on the type of account he has. So he will have to check that out with his plan administrators at his job, because I know with my mom's, because I do all the bills, like I told you in other previous webinars, for my mom and grandma, my mom's health savings account, it rolls over from year to year. In fact, the company set it up that way because their deductible is so high that as they put into it, they want them to be able to roll it over from year to year. But that's a health spending account, or a health savings account, I mean. So I don't know if FSAs are different, but he'd want to check into that definitely. So, but what if it is one that doesn't roll over from year to year, what I've read is that you should just put into it what you think you're going to spend in a year. But again, double check. Like, for example, okay, great thing, right? Let me come back up here because I just saw, boy, I can't keep up with you guys. Okay, hang on a second. Right, okay. Exactly, the hearing aids, the braces. That my one of my good friends at work, her son lost his hearing aids just in the last 2 weeks, and it's $3,000 for him to get new ones. So think of all the things that just definitely ask if it rolls over, and so you definitely would want to find out, what are some of the limitations of what you can pull out of that. Like we said, I would check into all that based on your health situation. Our hearing aids covered, our contacts covered, our asthma inhalers covered, diabetes medication, is that covered? So you'd want to kind of really that's what your HR person is there for. Make sure you're asking those questions. And even though I know you said about let me come back up here. All right, so let me come back and address some of these. Yes, all right, let me come back up to Sandy. Yes, you can definitely raise your credit score. Definitely. My cousin that, like I said, that we helped, that's getting the Harley, he was in the toilet in the 500s. And over the course of making regular payments, he was able to recreate a total score in 2 years and get a mortgage within about 2.5 to 3 years at the most. It wasn't more than 3 years that it took him to build his score back up, and he was able to get a mortgage in that time. I'll just scroll through them chronologically here. Deanna is asking about her son's 22 and healthy. So the year, when I address the year and you lose it. So, but then you asked another question here, so I want to come back down. Yeah, 22-year-old, no health problems. I'd go, actually, with I would definitely look at the plan for your son if there's 3 different plans that he can go with. I mean, it's one of those things where, uh, if he's going to go with the highest deductible, you're going to want money in savings for those things to crop up. My sister-in-law went to a clinic that she thought was a walk-in clinic, and she went to like an emergency room type, one of these walk-in clinics for a bladder infection. Her bill was over $1,000. She lives in Philly. So you really got to be careful, if you're going to go with the highest deductible, make sure that you have that money set aside for that deductible so that nobody's caught off guard. You don't want to end up going into the high deductible and then being stuck with, this ginormous payment because you thought, you might not need it. And you just never know what can happen. I mean, whether it's, and I hate to say, that I hate to be kind of what if, but my grandfather, like I told you before, my grandfather was a coroner, so I'm used to seeing, bad things happen. So you just got to be really careful with all that. But again, you're going to have to make that decision on your own because it's definitely something that, is individual. So, okay, coming back down here. I've never heard of not being able to find a job because you have bad credit. I don't think that that would affect you at all. I mean, most employers do not or can't do a credit check on people. That's great about the Walgreens has a little notation on the receipt if it qualifies for flexible spending account. That's neat to know. I didn't know that. Okay. Let's see here, coming down. Can I pay a monthly rate to collection companies and not be scammed? I've got bad info, paid $150 a month to hold off legal action. I think I was scammed. Anything you're going to do with a collection company, you have to get in writing. So if you set up a payment plan with that company, you must have it in writing before you move forward with any kind of payment plan with them. You need to have it in writing that they are going to take it off that they are going to either negotiate when it's paid off, they'll write into your credit score, or, whatever plan you have set up with them, whatever deal you make, you're going to have to definitely make sure that they put it in writing. If they don't put it in writing, I wouldn't even think about paying it back at this point, or not paying it back, but I wouldn't even think about making large monthly payments to them. Okay. Okay. Just coming back down to these. I just don't want to miss anybody's question. Okay, so Kim is sharing that some HSAs have different ways for you to earn money just by taking health assessments and getting a yearly physical. I've heard that before also, and that's great. Yes, really, from the 500s. Yes, he was definitely able to do that. I wrote the companies myself. I have all the address. That's the other thing. If you need the addresses for the companies, I don't know if I included that for you guys in any of the other webinars. As far as health savings account plans for dental, I think so. I would definitely, I don't know for sure, but I would definitely check into that. Lisa's asking, do they have these FSA plans or HSA plans for dental? Anything health related to me would be included, but always check with whoever you're going with. Okay. So he could take, all right, so this is Deanna back again about her son. So he could take the higher deductible and then put back his savings from the lower deductible into the health savings account. Yeah, in other words, no, I'm saying, in other words, just make sure that he has some money stacked away so that if you do go with the higher deductible, I see what you're saying, like he's not paying as much for health insurance, maybe even put that into, but either way, if he goes with a larger deductible, like if his deductible is $1,000, you want to make sure he has $1,000 every year in that savings. So he's going to have to be saving a little under $100 a month to make sure that he doesn't, fall below that, and he always has that money if he needs it. And then obviously if one year he goes, since he's healthy, and he goes a whole year without needing it, then you've got that $1,000 for the next year, and you don't have to keep saving that money. So, right, it says, I went to the ER that accepted my insurance, but got a bill from a doctor who worked at ER who didn't accept my insurance, $800. Right, they don't tell you any of that up front, that's for sure. I guess some employers might do some of that, but I've been to many job interviews and never have had that. Wow, that's crazy. Maybe that's a PA thing. That might be a state thing. Okay, so we're going to get on. We're going to move on to creating margin. What is a good credit score to have? Okay, so after checking, right, a good credit score probably, I would imagine, is probably anything, I think average is like in the 600s, I think like 650 and above. Once you get above 700, then you're above average probably. I will look into this for you guys for next week, but I know that, I'm not a financial advisor, but I know that for my cousin, his goal number was 650. He was trying to get to 650 to get his mortgage, which he did after making regular payments on his truck after several months. So, okay. So Jennifer from Alabama, 647. It went up 38 points. That is great. Okay, well, there you go. And now that's definitely with the True Credit Score. So each company has a different scoring guide sometimes, and I know FICO is definitely a totally different one. But if that's your Experian, that should be, that's at least a great start. I know that the higher your credit score, the lower your interest rate is, so that's why you're always going to want to be. But what impacts your credit score, obviously, are late payments, and things that late payments, not paying, they want to see that you're making regular payments on time. So even if you pick right now, if you just pick one bill to start paying on time that affects your credit score, whether it's, now if you pay rent, that may not go on, a lot of times I haven't seen that go on a credit score, depending on who you're renting from. But on your mortgage, obviously, that's what you really want to make sure that you're, making sure that you're paying that mortgage on time every month. So they're looking for regular monthly payments. So once you at least start paying a couple bills, and they're looking specifically usually for debt. So if it's car loans, credit cards, mortgages, all the hospital bills, things that you want to make sure that you're making these monthly payments on, those will increase your scores most regularly. And are probably one of the best things to get started with. So when we're talking about creating margin, now that we kind of are halfway through the webinar here, and I want to kind of get back to so I cover our material for tonight. The first thing are ways to create margin that we're going to look in: coupons and smarter shopping. So this, like we spoke about, is anybody doing any couponing since last time? Okay, great. Anybody have any success stories that they want to share? Please go ahead and share any success stories that you have. That is wonderful. You guys are doing great. 50%, phenomenal. Ooh, Martina, not so good on the paper. Okay, so we are getting free items. Great, 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 great. So you guys are doing really, really good. Two inserts, wonderful. Okay. Okay, so what we want to talk about, wow, Whisk detergent for 99 cents. Yep, free stuff, me too. So, okay, so what we want to talk about are cooking, coupons, and smarter shopping. So let's just talk a little bit about ways to save with cooking first, and then we'll get into some of the couponing things. And Martina, you just hang tight, because we'll go over these things again and again to kind of help you. Can you just put maybe, Martina, in there why the couponing is difficult for you? Is there a reason why you're finding it difficult? That's the thing I want to know. All right, so back to ways to save with cooking. Martina, once you put that in, I'll come back and check for it then. First thing that I have really changed in the last year, and I really hope that what you guys, oh yes, okay, Martina, I see what you're saying. Then you definitely want to hang tight with us. We'll show you a way to get free stuff. Okay. So what I really found in the last year that I have not done, I'm like 35 this year. I'm kind of embarrassed because I'm thinking I'm intelligent. I teach, I've gone to college. I should know this stuff. But, really it's common sense. And that's something that I definitely lack sometimes is common sense. But, I really don't think that we realize how much we don't manage our food. When we cook, I really don't think that I don't even know that. I mean, probably really, really good shopper, cooking women. Maybe Paula Deen, maybe Pioneer Woman. I don't know. There are probably some ladies who are really, really great at this, but you don't realize that the items that you have need to go together, and to get those items, you should get the items that are on sale. So let's kind of get started with the first bullet point here. You utilize foods on sale. Prepare your meals. And the whole idea that, I'm going to come over here to the right. These are not in order, by the way. I apologize for that. Is cooking from your stockpile when necessary. But what you need to understand is you need to create the stockpile first, a stockpile of food. So that means that when you get, now some of you I know you said are on disability and some of you have, health issues and things like that. You definitely want to make sure that, if you're going to a food bank, if you're going to Angel Food Ministries, if you're going to where, or if you're just going to the store and stocking up for, close to free, you want to make sure that you're creating recipes based around those inexpensive foods. So I basically, you need to create that stockpile first. So for example, there are actually, and this is the one thing I'm so embarrassed, we'll Google for it later together, but there's actually a website that you can go to that I think I've heard you can put in the ingredients that you have at home and it'll make a recipe up for you. So one thing that people need to keep on hand, and I can't stress this enough, believe it or not, is a crock pot and the condensed soups. And if you have those bread, milk, and onions at home and some meats, you can pretty much create almost any meal if you have enough of those. So you want to keep cream of chicken soup on hand. You want to keep cream of mushroom soup on hand. You want to keep onions, bread, milk, cheese, those staples. If you keep and some peanut butter and jelly too, by the way, cans of tuna, cans of maybe pressed, some of that like pressed salad ham or the chicken in the cans like the canned tuna. If you keep those things on hand, you should be able to create pretty quick meals based on what you have. Also, mayo is another thing that you're going to want to have. So once you go to the store and you start purchasing, like for example, in my area, I'd go to Aldi, which we talked about the last time about where the food is out on pallets. It's not on, shelves or anything. And you have to take, your carts are connected, and you get your cart by putting a quarter in, and then when you put your cart back, you get your quarter back. So I think that's hysterical, but we've gone there for 15 years now. And so, when you go in and you shop, I shop those, their cans of soup. They're like 60 cents for a can of cream of chicken soup, where at Walmart, which is right next door, we're going to pay over $1, even sometimes for the Walmart brand. So for me to get those kinds of soups, it's cheaper for me to go to Aldi. But sometimes you can get those soups super cheap through, Walgreens deals with registry awards, or buy one, get one coupons, or just the buy one, get one deals with coupons at the grocery store. So the idea is to buy food when the prices are low, meaning whether it's with coupons or a sale or matching up coupons and a sale, you're going to make sure that you're buying food when the price is low and creating a stockpile out of that to pull from. So this was just like the hardest thing for me to get over, was that I was buying sometimes more of something than I needed for 2 weeks. I had been a 2-week buyer or a 1-week buyer like most of my life. My mom taught me that way, that you went to the store and you bought what you needed for 2 weeks. The idea of buying maybe 6 to 10 cans of a cream soup was just unnecessary to me, or it was overkill, or it was, it was too much surplus. And so, but those things don't go bad, and you will use them over the course of a year. And so last week we talked about creating a price book in the second group that came through. I know I didn't talk about this in the first session, I talked about in the second session, but a price book is where I have an Excel document where I have, let me just create a new one here, which I showed everybody last week. I have the food item in the left column, then store 1, store 2, and store 3, where I track the prices of that item. So maybe it's peanut butter. I'm going to check Walmart, Aldi, and maybe, Giant to know what a good price is on peanut butter. So all the items that I'm using frequently, you're going to want to write down. You only need to really do this for the first couple months, because eventually you get so good at it that you kind of know what a good deal is. And that's what I told the Thursday night group last week, was that you really just have to make sure that, you're keeping track of this at least for the first few months, so that you know what a good price is on items. Then you buy when the price is low and you stockpile. Then once you have that, then you can start planning recipes based around what's in your stockpile. So if you have, like tonight, for example, for Christmas, my mother-in-law bought us Omaha steaks, all kinds of from Omaha steaks. Actually, we didn't get any of the steaks, but she gave us we had pork chops, and we had burgers, and we have like these petite fillets, and things like that. So we went ahead and thawed those out, and then my husband was coming home late tonight, and he opened up to a recipe in one of the recipe books that all you did was you browned them in the frying pan, and then you put them in the oven in a baking dish with some cream of chicken or cream of mushroom soup over it, some onions. First of all, you mixed up this. You browned them. You put them in the pan, and then before you stuck them in the oven, you mixed together the condensed soup, and then you put a can of water with it too. 3 tablespoons of ketchup, 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, or however you say it, and onion. You just chopped up some onion, stuck that all together, put it in the oven for about an hour at 350, and boom, you're good to go. So these were all things. I bought French's. They had a $1 off French's coupon that came out in the spring, and I got like 5 papers at that time or more. Well, I have my mom's paper and her coupons and my father-in-law's too. So I always had 3 sets. You should get as many sets for as people are in your family. If there's one of you, you get 1 newspaper. If there are 2 of you, you get 2 newspaper. If there's 3, like we have 3, so I always do at least 3 papers. But if there's a really good coupon, I might go out and buy a couple extra copies, provided that I'm going to use more than one of the coupons in that paper. And so like I might have 5 of the same coupon, and then like French's Worcestershire sauce was $1.36 at Walmart, but there was a $1 off coupon, so I paid 36 cents for each of those. The other thing that we have in our area is an Amish Benton Dent. We have a lot of Amish in this area, and they have this sheet, which Courtney will tell you she loves. She goes there all the time. It's near her parents' house, but it's a Benton Dent of like discarded. I mean, you kind of eat at your own risk, but I mean, a lot of it's dried goods, and you can go up there and get so many things dirt cheap. I mean, even that you don't even need the coupon when you go up there. I don't even know that they accept them, but there are different ways that you can save on money that way. So the thing about creating your price book, why it's so necessary, is because a lot of times people go to like Sam's Club. I think they're getting this great price because they're buying in bulk, but you're not. Many times I've heard if you buy at a place like Sam's Club, you're actually paying more than if you bought with coupons on a buy one, get one deal. So the other thing that you're going to want to do, like I said, are make sure to have a meal plan each week. This is what I still struggle with. I'm still working on this. This is a work in progress for me. I'm going to just tell you up front, I struggle a lot here. So my husband does a lot of the cooking, actually, because I do a lot of the blogging, obviously. But one thing you can do also is you can freeze. You want to have that meal plan each week, but also freeze extra meals. And so, I used to do once a month cooking when we were first married. We had a deep chest freezer. If a lot of people in your family, maybe it's worth it having a deep chest freezer. But for us, it costs $40 a month to run that freezer. So if I'm not going to save more than $40 by stockpiling food in that freezer, I'm not going to use it. So I have not used any extra refrigerator or freezer, other than we do have an extra fridge downstairs that we use at the holidays when we have so much cooking going on. So for a month, I will turn that on usually, because my birthday is New Year's Eve, and our anniversary is 2 days after Christmas, and my mom's birthday is the 29th, and so it's just kind of a crazy week for us that whole week, and that the Thanksgiving up to the end of the year. So we end up a lot of times, like I said, turning that on once a year because it is worth it. But if it's not worth it for you to have that extra deep chest freezer, if you're not cooking enough frequently out of that freezer and you're wasting the food or it's getting freezer burnt, don't do it. So if you're going to do maybe, so once a month cooking really usually goes with a deep chest freezer. Like, in other words, if you're going to freeze enough stuff to eat for a month, then you're going to need probably a deep chest freezer to do that. But there are other ways to freeze meals ahead of time without maybe doing a whole month worth. So for example, my husband loves these burritos. Well, he made a bunch of burritos up and then froze the extra ones. So instead of doing a whole bunch of bulk cooking, maybe you're going to get enough in one night to bulk cook for a few things. So for example, you're going to cook a double portion of whatever you make and freeze it. So you don't always have to do it once a month. Maybe you're just going to take 2 nights a week where you're going to double portion cook and freeze the extra. So we do this a lot with stews. So at like Easter or anytime we have a big ham, we will cook down the ham bone and make ham and green bean soup, or just ham and bean soup. We'll cook it, like we'll pick off the meat off the bone, we'll cook it down. We actually have we go to our local butcher shop and get the plastic containers. They're great because they sell a lot of soups at our local butcher shop. It's actually called the butcher shop, actually. And so we go and we get these plastic containers that they sell their soup in for like maybe 20 or 30 cents a piece. And then we put our soup into that and freeze it. And or maybe sometimes we'll give it away to a family member, if we have extra. And also with the chicken, we've made white chicken chili, we've made turkey chili. We've made chicken corn soup, we've made turkey corn soup. So taking maybe those larger, sometimes I know at our local Aldi, even Walmart, I mean, those whole fryer chickens, which are like, we get at Aldi for like $4 or $5 at the most. Once you're done pulling off, the wings, the thighs, and the breasts, then you can cook down whatever leftover meat is there and make chicken corn soup even from that small of a chicken. I mean, it doesn't have to be, some ginormous thing. It can just be the leftover stock from that. So taking leftover, and a lot of people I know do like goulash. They'll take leftover meatloaf and maybe they have meatloaf and mashed potatoes and a vegetable. They'll take all that, they'll put it into a casserole dish, mix it up, and then maybe put like biscuits on top of it and bake it. So really taking your leftovers, recycling your leftovers, making sure that your foods flow into each other as best as you can. I mean, sometimes that's not practical, but also eating the leftovers, making sure that you're eating the leftovers. It's okay to have something 2 nights in a row, or to have it the night before and then have it for lunch the next day. So these are some of the things that you can do to really lower the cost of your eating. And this will also keep you from eating out, which is a ginormous expense. We have a friend of the family that she's kind of somewhat low functioning, and she struggles. Like she always tells us, she went to special classes in school and she had a hard time learning. And she actually does get like a disability check at the beginning of every month, and she goes and she blows it on fast food within the first week, and then she has nothing left over. So if, that right there is one example of why it pays to save with cooking, to make sure that you're managing your food properly, that you're managing by buying when the price is low, cooking. And then once in a while, when you have a stock, cook from your stockpile. There are some weeks where people don't even, I've seen bloggers say, I'm cooking from the stockpile this week, I'm not even going to the store because I don't need any food for this week. So these are, so you just have to, really just try to, kind of work through this process. You guys are obviously here tonight in a webinar. Use your Google. Go to allrecipes.com. I know that they have a sort, which that's what I wanted to do real quick. I wanted to go, like we said, kind of go over. Okay, we want to kind of go to allrecipes.com, and I'm pretty sure that there's a way. See, there's an app you can even get on your phone. But I know here, ingredients at the top. If you go to ingredients I want or ingredients I don't want in your recipe, and you can search for that. Whatever. So if you have something on hand at home and you want to throw it together in a meal, that's the way to do it. So, all right. So we've kind of gone through cooking. Let me come back through your comments here. Right, exactly. Taking chicken and then making it into chicken salad and then making chicken noodle soup. That is a great idea. So this is something that, like I said, I'm still continuing to work on. So, so tonight we're going to start a little bit with coupons and how they work. And I am going to be doing a couponing webinar, but I'll probably be going over a lot of that here with you this evening. And so I know that I had talked a good bit at length in Thursday's meeting about this, Martina, but as you said, you want some extra help in that area, so hearing it twice might not hurt. So the first thing that you're going to want to do before you even go to your store is know your store policies. you basically want to know, can you double? How many can you double? How many can you use? You know, if you do it, most of the time, the best way to save is on a sale or a buy one get one, where you have, like, if you have a buy one get one free deal at your store. Let's say they have you know, butter for buy one get one, and you have 2 butter coupons. Okay, so it's buy one get one free if you pay $3 for, you know, buy one get one. So you pay $3 and you get 2. Then if you have 2 $1 off coupons because you have 2 items, you're going to get 2 things of butter for 50 cents each. So let me say that again. So buy one get one is $3. So you pay the $3, but you have 2 $1 off coupons for your 2 items of butter. That's going to bring your $3 down to $1. You're paying 50 cents a piece. So you're going to want to start couponing. You're going to want to get organized. You might need to have the whole family help. And that was one thing that I skipped here. We're going to go back to is creating a gift closet. But basically, you want to learn the difference between stackable and manufacturer's coupons. Sometimes, for example, and this is what I showed the other group, and I want to go back a little bit to the blog from today. Actually, let me go to, and we're going to look at some of the ways to save that we did some of the deals today with coupons. And there was an article I wrote today called Enjoy the Journey of Becoming Debt-Free. Hopefully you guys can read that if you get a chance. Okay, so here's one example. American Greetings has cards for 99 cents with free shipping. If you are a stickler for big-time brand name cards, there you're going to want to stock up. If you're okay with making the homemade cards, then you don't want to, you know, pay the 99 cents. Maybe you're used to paying 10 cents a piece. I would go to Michael's with my 40% off coupon, buy the homemade cardstock, and, you know, make my own homemade cards with stamps out of that. So, but each week we do the matchups for certain stores. And if you have a particular store you really want, let me know, and I will try to add it to our matchup list, or I'll find somebody that does it. But we have people every week. If you go up to stores and come down to grocery stores, we have Dollar General, Food Lion, Harris Teeter, Giant, Kroger, Harvey's, Lowe's, Harris, Meijer, Price Chopper, Publix, ShopRite, Target, Walmart, Weiss & Winn-Dixie, and we can find other ones for you too. But if you click on any of those, we have a printable list already made up for you where somebody has already gone through the entire flyer and found all the deals for you. So if we go to Harris Teeter, somebody has already gone through and matched up all the coupons for this week. So, for example, they're telling you that these are the EVIC specials, which I'm not even sure what that means because we don't have Harris Teeter around here, but I'm sure if you live in that area, you probably know. And then what they do is they tell you, okay, an Atkins Shake 4-pack for $4.99, you can get $1 off one Atkins Shake. And so this tells you that it was in the Smart Source insert from January 1st of 2012, the second one because there were 2 that day, and it expires on March 31st, 2012. Also, I have lots of couponing videos here on the blog. Watch them when you can, or go to YouTube and Google debt-free spending and watch the coupon videos. So basically, we've gone through, and they've already shown you what you can get at a lower rate if you use the coupon. So here's Kashi cereal. If you use this $2 off one Kashi product, if you're part of Recycle Bank, you're going to get the Kashi cereal for 99 cents, which is way better than $3. If you have RiceWorks Rice Krispies, but they're on buy one get one, you use 2 $1 off, you know, printables. You have to click on this link to print it, and then you're going to get them each for 69 cents. So we've already, if you're not a math pro, we've already done a lot of that work for you, especially the drugstores. CVS is a huge one that my mom does for me every week. We do CVS for you every Friday night. It's usually posted by 10 or 11. So this week at CVS, you got $5 ECB. So you pay $14.99. You give them, maybe you're going to look for the highest value coupon, $4 off of one. So it's going to bring it down to $10, but you take those $5 in ECBs, you buy milk. These are just some other examples of ways that you can, turn nothing into something, so to speak. The Curel lotion, $6.99, you get $2 ECBs, makes it $4.99. If you have this high value $2, so go through and see, each week. If you have a Walgreens, you might have to start shopping at more than one store to get the best price. I made this my part-time job. It has saved me $7,000 a year, minimum, if not more, to do it this way. To take a coupon and what we call, so for example, at CVS and Rite Aid and Walgreens, and this is a lot to pack into tonight. We'll have to do a little bit more with couponing even next week, but CVS has ECBs. Walgreens has register rewards. Rite Aid has Up Rewards. They all have these cashback reward programs where you get it comes on your receipt. You rip it off, or at Walgreens it prints out separately, but you spend it in the store like cash. And on certain things. Now, CVS is the only place you can use your cash back for milk, but still there are other toiletry items that you could put it towards. And also, if you get cash back from a register reward deal or ECB deal, you don't use it to buy something at full. So you roll it into other ECB deals that are going to save you money when you can. So you're rolling money into other deals. You're trying to, start out, like if I start out with this, deal, and I get it down to $5.99. I pay $10.99, but I get $5 cash back or ECBs back, which means a net price of $5.99. But I'm going to roll that $5 in ECBs into another deal where I'm going to get it essentially for free. And so we have a lot of readers that write in. Maybe you've seen some of the pictures on the blog of all the things that people have gotten for free or cheap based on all the deals that we've shown them. So another one, for example, from that I want to go back, there were a couple that I wanted to show you. Like we showed people, if you're part of magazine.com, we showed you a way to get a $5 check from them. Let me come up here. Was it here? We're giving you coupons all the time, $1 off Celestial Seasonings. Let me come down. Where is it? Yeah, that's what I want to show you. Here's an example of other ones that we do. Plum, where we show you that there's a special that week. There's a Target printable store coupon which you can stack. Stacking is when you use a manufacturer's coupon with a store coupon. And I have a whole post about how to tell the difference on Target's website between Target web coupon and a manufacturer's coupon, because it's based on the wording here. But basically at Target they have Plum District baby food for $1.09. But you can use this 50% off a 2 Target store coupon and stack it with the 50% off a 2 Plum Organics coupon, or Plum Organics manufacturer's coupon. So if it's $1.09 and you buy 2 of them, that makes them $2.18. But you can use stack these 2 to get $1 off a 2, your 50 and your 50, to make $1 off a 2, which would make your $2.19 come down to $1.19, which basically makes it 59 cents each when you buy 2 of those. So we're showing people constantly how to stack coupons as much as you can to be able to increase your savings, at different stores. But the biggest way to do that when you go grocery shopping is that you're not going to always be shopping based on what you want. You're going to be shopping based on what's on sale that you have coupons for to build your stockpile. So while you're there, yeah, you may be getting things that you have on your grocery list that you have to have. But as you create your stockpile, you're adding to the stockpile based out of when the sale prices come around again. Now, this isn't necessarily for every single item. There are just some times where, my saline solution just isn't on sale and I have to pay the whole $6 a bottle at Walmart, and I cringe every time. But the last 2 times I went in, there was $1 off Peely on them, so I at least saved $1. I peeled it right off the front of the package and I was able to take it up to the counter and save $1. But the point is, what I'm trying to get across here is that you really want to try to buy everything when the price is low. So you're scouring ads every week. You might be going to more than one store each week. You might be planning out your trips, on Monday I'm going to Walgreens and I'm going to get this, this, and this. And on Tuesday I'm going to go to CVS and I'm going to get this, this, and this. And then eventually, you can either if you have excess, donate it. And this is what we talk about in our couponing webinar, and I'm sure we'll talk about in the next one, is that donate what you can't use or barter with somebody. I met a guy the other week who, when I was actually on TV on that new newsmaker, who said that they go to his sister's house and she has a stockpile and they'll pay her $1 an item. So maybe you're going to have your family shop from your stockpile. I don't know. These are just some things to think about. But anyways, so these are just, this is just a very basic introduction to coupons and how they can save you money. I mean, we're kind of running out of time. But if you wanted a coupon webinar, email me at Steph, S-T-E-P-H, at debtfreespending.com, and I will put you on the invite list for that webinar. So again, that's Steph, S-T-E-P-H, at debtfreespending.com. So let's just go back real quick, we have about a minute or a few minutes here. I'm going to let us extend beyond the hour. But where you're going to create a gift closet, that's the other way to create margin that we talked about. Purchasing gifts or cards at their lowest price, and you save them for birthdays, holidays, and other events. We talked about this the other night. You're going to purchase toy items after Christmas at the lowest price, or by right today we had on the blog we had like Hasbro coupons. Like, it was like $8 off. Let's rock Elmo. I mean, it was crazy amount that you could save with these coupons that they had for the toys, and they're after Christmas now, so they're marked down. Create cards at home or have your children create cards. Create homemade gifts. Use free photo gifts. We do deals all the time on the blog for gifts. That was my husband's Father's Day gift. Was I had a free collage, 8.5 by 11 collage from Walgreens that I did it over the internet. It's printed out at the store. I went to the store, got it free, put it in a $3 frame, and that was his Father's Day gift. Thinking ahead. You're constantly thinking ahead about the next holiday or the next birthday, about how am I going to find something on sale or make something for free, or what do I need to have prepared? And if I'm going to make a homemade card, I need that Michael's coupon to save 40% off the card stock, or I'm going to, maybe invest right now in a couple $1 stamps at the craft store, so that when I go to do, a card or something, I have that stamp that I need, or something like that. These are just some ways of, really trying to create margin by reducing your expenses and doing those things. We also had, free card store cards last week. You could create a free card. So I got to be quiet because my husband can hear me here, but I created my husband and I's Valentine's Day card for free, shipped to me for free, with a picture of the two of us. I mean, totally didn't pay a thing for it. Do you know how expensive cards are at Walmart? They're like $5, and the singing ones, or the ones that do anything special, they're even more. So I've also seen cards at thrift stores. I've stocked up on cards at thrift stores. I've stocked up on blank cards that just look, elegant. Like, I've gone to Hallmark and maybe bought blank white cards that just look very, very elegant. So on the inside, I can either stamp thank you or congratulations, or I have a little baby stamp that I stamp the front, that with a picture of a baby, so that, they're versatile, that I can use for any type of card that I'm going to make. Also, I stock up on ribbon. I hit those 90% off bins at Michael's all the time. They have like 10-cent bins or 90% off bins in front of the craft store. I am constantly hitting those bins up to see what's in there. I find stickers. I find things for, I bought little Star Wars stickers for 10 cents a piece for my son's stocking, because stockings, even at Christmas, it's crazy how much, with the stockings, that you can add up in expenses when you have Christmas roll around. So, all these things, you really want to try, and you want to change your mentality. You're not going into the store to buy a bunch of stuff. You're going in to buy just that free item, and you're leaving because it goes back in your stockpile. You don't shop. You're going to shop differently. You're not shopping at leisure anymore. You're shopping with a mission. You're shopping to go in and get those free things, and or those low price items, you're going to bring them home, and you're going to start creating that stockpile. So your shopping behavior is going to change now. You're going to become more like, kind of like you're working for a company, and less than just you shopping for the fun of this or that or whatever. And once you start saving all this money on all this free stuff you're getting, I have created enough margin now where I was so excited because, you really have to, well, I lost my train of thought. I was reading what Courtney said. Now, Courtney, you should be telling them to come to debtfreespending.com for their store matchups. Just kidding. So anyways, you just really want to, make sure that you're, getting all this free stuff. And then as you're getting all the free stuff and you're creating your stockpile and you're cooking from this and you're doing all this stuff, then I spend so much less money that now I have like margin enough that, like, for example, my husband, who like never got new clothes, hardly ever. He's a heavy guy. And literally his wardrobe consisted of jeans and Walmart t-shirts, like Hanes Walmart t-shirts. I swear that's what he wore all the time. And but the thing was, we were able to take JCPenney's coupons and go down to our local big and tall section of our JCPenney's, and I was able to get him buku. They had at Christmas, they had all these $10 off $25 coupons. So I would go down, and all of his shirts and things that he would want would be like right around $25. And I don't know if you know how expensive Big and Tall is, but it's hard to find and it's super expensive. So I would use these $10 off, $25, coupons, and I was getting him shirts for like $15 that were good quality, nice shirts, not just the Hanes t-shirts. That's okay for at home, but for church, he needed to have some other nice things. So you need to start scouring the internet for coupons. Another one is going to be 2 websites I'm going to show you before we kind of sign off here this evening. As a sister, a kind of a girlfriend blogger who helps me each week. She has Surviving the Stores. And if you come to her, she has restaurant coupons and she also has retail coupons. So if you know that that night you're going to Friendly's, you come here and you look and see if Friendly's coupons are up. Or maybe you're going to go to, any Panda Express, and maybe you know that you're going out that night. Come here before you go to eat. And then here you're going to go to retail. And then this is my favorite place to come, is I come here all the time. Is there a Bath & Body Works coupon? And like I told everybody in the last group, those Bath & Body Works candles go on sale frequently throughout the year for $10 a piece or buy 2 for $20. So what you do is they'll let you, if you buy more than 2, they'll let you, everyone you get on for 2 will be $10. So they have $10 off, $30 coupons all the time. Or if you complete the survey on the bottom of your receipt, you can get a $10 off, $30 coupon that way. So I wait till those candles go on sale for $10 a piece. So 3 would normally be $30, but I get 3 for $20, which makes them less than $7 a piece. You can't even hardly get a Walmart candle that cheap, and people think that you're spending all this money on their gift. So, but you come here and you look to see, okay, what are all the stores, like Old Navy, like usually if there's an Old Navy, here's one, Gap, and New York and Company, Oshkosh, all these different. So I come here and I go to Oshkosh and I'll get a coupon, but then when I go to Oshkosh, I buy what's on clearance, or I price check it against what I have at Walmart or another store. So for example, my son's jeans, I can actually go to Oshkosh, and if I buy 4 pair, I get the same exact price that I would get at Walmart or less, even a lot of times. So a lot of times I can get brand name clothes for the same price that I would pay at Walmart. Now, we also get hand-me-downs. So each season, I'll start with the hand-me-downs, see what I need in his wardrobe, and then I'll kind of build around the hand-me-downs. So, like, sometimes you'll see me shopping at a yard sale, or you'll see me doing hand-me-downs, or you'll see me at Oshkosh buying brand name, so that maybe if we go out with friends and I want him in some nice clothes, I'll put the brand name clothes on him, or when we're at home, I might not, just put him in hand-me-downs for play clothes. So the other thing I wanted to go to was, hang on a second, it'll come to me. Yes, Retail Me Not. Retail Me Not is my other favorite coupon site that tells me what codes are available and what coupons, printable coupons are available for any store. You can put in any name of any store in Retail Me Not, or you can also come up to printable coupons and find all the local printable coupons or just even national. So like, I wouldn't do these deals necessarily down here, but I might type in, you can even search by zip code here. But even if you come to coupon codes, or if you just search for JCPenney's, it'll bring up the printable and the coupon codes together. But you can do local printable coupons if you go to printable and put your zip code in. So also on our blog, please come to our blog, and if you click on see all coupons right here, it takes you directly to coupons.com. You can see all the coupons that are available there. We do ask that you go through our link if you're willing. It does help us out a little bit. I'll be honest with you, not a lot. Maybe 5 cents every time a person, goes in and prints a coupon out of there. And that's not for each coupon. That's just 1 5 nickel every time somebody prints, unlimited amounts of coupons. So if you're willing, that does help out a little bit to come down here to see all coupons and click on that. Or you can come up to the Red Plum coupons that are available here. Or you can search the coupon database that we talked about last time, where I need to see if you guys are even, hopefully everybody's still here. Oh, looks like we're all still here. Okay, good. So if you come to our coupon if you come down to coupons and go to coupon database, you can search for any item here. Purina. If I type in Purina, like I showed everybody the other night, it's going to show me where all the Purina coupons are. Okay, so if you buy Tampax, okay, and you know that you need a Tampax coupon, search to see, okay, where are these, okay, at Target, there was a Target coupon, there's a Target coupon from the Target insert, okay, or Giant Eagle's offering. This is showing you all the available coupons, the stores that they're available at. If there's no store listed, it can be used anywhere. This tells you the source: Procter & Gamble, P&G, Procter & Gamble, Target. RP is Red Plum. So you got to know the 3 abbreviations: P&G, Procter & Gamble, RP is Red Plum, and SS is Smart Source. When you get your newspaper, on the tiny print, in tiny print on the spine of your coupon insert, it tells you the date, but on the front it tells you the name. It'll say Smart Source, Red Plum, or Procter & Gamble on the front. They usually, Procter & Gamble comes out once a month. The other ones come out like every week pretty much. So they tell you, if you're not sure what they mean, if it says Procter & Gamble 1/1/12, go back to your inserts, look on the little spine, and find the January 1st from that Sunday, that insert. And so you don't ever really want to throw your coupons away, even if you don't use them, because let's say a month or 2 down the road from now, you might not think about using Bartoli's spaghetti sauce, but it goes on sale for buy one get one, and your inserts had 2 coupons. You could get pasta sauce for free. Well, even if you don't use it, maybe you're going to take a meal to the homeless shelter, use it for that. Maybe you're going to take a meal to a friend, use it for that. That's what people don't think of. They think, well, I'm not going to use that. Well, yeah, you are. You are going to use those things. You're going to find a way to use them some other way. Maybe you're going to give it to somebody. Okay, so you really need to make sure that you really have to make sure that you're stacking, using the coupons as much as you can to build your stockpiles so that you can use them either for yourself or as gifts or as something to give away. So can you guys just put just maybe one word next week? Would you prefer to move on to something specific? I mean, we're kind of, we kind of talked about do we want to talk about investments like retirement? Do we want to talk about, investing our margin? Do we want to talk about specific, debt issues? Do we want to talk about specific budget issues? Because I've gone through a lot of the creating margin things, but we also could do, I'm going to invite you to my couponing webinar. That's one thing. But, we could do, some other focus groups. So if you have something specific that you want to work on, just put it in the chat so we know that for next week, or maybe we could just meet each week and I could just pick a topic and we could just roll through it, and if you come in and you're like, okay, that doesn't apply to me, then, feel free to go ahead and, bail out or whatever. So, okay, so investments or buying stocks would be helpful. Okay, we can talk a little bit about that. Definitely can talk about some retirement there too also. And really, investments in general probably would take about an hour, that we could do stocks and retirement in the same hour. So we'll try to head that way next week. All right, so if you don't have any other questions for me, that's great. If you want to be part of the Facebook group, let me know. We actually have a Facebook group that we can actually be a part of. So it's called Debt Free in 2012. I'll put it into the chat. And I'll just each week try to, oh, it's not going to let me do it. Tag on it. Here, I'll just have to type it in. And hopefully you guys can all have a great night, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and head out. I'll finish typing in the Facebook address here, and then I'll give it about maybe 5 more minutes, and then we'll shut down for the night. Okay, and I'll keep chatting with you even though my mic's turned off. So, all right, guys, have a good night.